Hello my little storm clouds, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today we're back with another video of my tiny castles for fairies, and we have loads of different fairy types here. Some of them are your suggestions, some of them you might think, why is that a fairy type? We're just having a little bit of fun with this. If you want to add any more, let me know down below in the comments and I will add some more fairy types. So it looks like we've got Crystal Fairy, which I'm super excited to try. I feel like I've got some inspiration from this from another creator. I will pop their name somewhere on the screen because I saw something I did and it looked amazing. So I might try that. So like I said at the start of this, when I was doing the wheel portion, this was totally inspired by another creator. I believe they're called Merlinka. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if it is not. I will link their stuff below because some of their stuff is really, really good. They are on YouTube and TikTok that I know of. They could have other social media as well, but that's the ones that I know of that I'm subscribed to. So make sure to check them out because the design they did was just unbelievably beautiful and they really need more recognition for the designs they do. So check them out. Anyway, so the whole idea is that it is like floating on crystals, and I'm just going to apologise. Literally just as I've started filming, my dog has decided to eat and she is in my room with me, so sorry if you hear any crunching. I'm not going to stop her from eating, so you're going to have to bear with me if you can hear that. And I was really torn on what colour scheme to go for. I definitely wanted to go for more light colours, so I ended up going with this really thin pastel blue colour on the centre house, and I did like a really thin purple colour on the other side. Mainly because if you look at the stone that I'm using here, it is a moonstone and it has those colours in it. So I wanted to tie them in with the rest of the house. So I used Tool Mod to be able to do this because I wanted to tilt them on the side so the crystals were facing outwards. I did it off camera because it took me so long to do the entire thing. And I do change the roofs to glass, but then I changed them back to this blue because I wasn't quite vibing with the glass. And of course I had to use the crystal trees. I had to go into live mode and cheat them to grow, because if you just place them down out of the debug menu, they're just a pile of dirt on the floor. So I cheated them so they grew, and then I could size them up once they were fully grown. And obviously got some stairs up the front, and I stuck with a lot of Realm of Magic for this. That sort of bluey greeny colour of the windows is just so beautiful. The one annoying thing is I really like it from the outside, but it's a dark wood on the inside, and I didn't realise till afterwards, and I sort of knew because I've used them before and done the same thing but forgot because it's been so long since I've used this colourway. But yeah, you can see a little bit there, the wood on the inside isn't quite as nice, but I just went with it because I really wanted that on the outside. This path on the front doesn't really lead to anywhere quite yet. Like I said, this is going to be a whole little like village of different types of fairies, so I've just done a little pathway coming out. Things that I might slightly change when I arrange where the houses are going to be. But I added loads of crystals. These are from Realm of Magic and they're in the debug menu, and I've just like sized them down, swapped them around and made sure they all look a little bit different on each thing and overlapped some as well. So for the inside of this build, I didn't really do that much. I think I might do some stuff off camera. I haven't done it yet. But what I end up doing is splitting the central room to be a front room and also a kitchen. So I'm having the kitchen back here, and I did have to use Tool Mod to stop some of the counters glitching because I ended up having them go down on those diagonals. Kitchens and diagonals are not great, but I really like the shape of this for this build. But I did go ahead and test everything, and everything in here does fully work. The only thing I didn't check is the pool at the end, so I'll have to double check that. If not, it's just a decorative piece that's underneath the build. I of course had to use this fireplace because this fireplace has crystals inside of it, so it just made total sense to me to use that. And then I added doors to either side of these hexagons, and in one side is a bathroom and the other side is a bedroom. I was going to use this bed, but it just looked a little bit overbearing in this small room. I did still end up using a double bed, but one that doesn't have a canopy over the top because it doesn't look as overbearing. And I end up using a blue tile. It's not this exact one, I changed it to a lighter one because I was just thinking like it's like crystals in the floor tile. That was my idea anyway. And again, stuck with that like pale pastel-y colour theme. I was also unsure whether this little wardrobe I put down was going to work, but it did seem to work, so it's fine being here. And it made the most sense again. I was really struggling trying to find things that were like crystal themed, but this had like shapes in it which give me that sort of crystal vibe. I added some curtains just to make things look a little bit more luxurious. I love doing this where they are floor to ceiling. I just think it makes it look really beautiful. And then I went with a really basic wooden centre table here. You can't actually access the fireplace, but I feel like that's a good thing in The Sims because Sims like to burn their house down anyway. So back to the outside, I did end up putting down one of the jewellery making station things from the new Crystal Creations pack, because I'm trying to do this with every fairy having their own little activity. So like my flower fairy has a flower arranging table. So I'm trying to stick with that. I don't know how long I'll be able to stick with that. It just depends on if I can think of something for that type of fairy. I've jumped back to inside to do the bathroom. And like I said, I kept things really, really basic. So in here is the basic of the basics. I did end up adding toilet rolls and a little towel rack, but there's really not much in here. I do feel like I might go in and add a few more details. And I think after this I go back outside. Like I said in previous builds, I in and out and change what I'm doing because I get bored of doing the same thing after a while. So I'm just going ahead and adding a few more little extra crystal pieces. These are actually the, what are they called? Brooms from Realm of Magic. I decided to add a cauldron as well, and I did a little like path and a rounded area, and I added those moonstones all the way around the edge and resized them with tool mod and twisted them around so they all looked a little bit different. Then I ended up adding another path coming off from this that goes underneath the build to a pool. Like I said, I don't know if this pool actually works. I feel like it should. I feel like it is, the next room up is high enough up for Sims to get under here, but I'm not 100% sure. And then I just decided to add loads of these blue coloured plants, and then I added some pink and purple ones to fit the theme. I sized some of them up really, really big. I even did bigger ones than this what I've got here at the moment, just to really fill in that space and block out some of the background, because I'm trying to make it sort of like it's fenced in, but I didn't want to use a fence for this one. I don't think it made sense. So I just dotted these all the way around the edge of the build, and I did some terrain paint under these as well to try and fit them in with the environment, and added more crystals coming out from each like bush section also. I decided to go in and add some of these crystals but in a different colour swatch. It's in this like pinky purpley colour, and dotted those around just to add some more colour into the build because it was looking a little bit too blue and I wanted to add something to make it look a bit different. I added more crystals around this path that I'm drawing here. Again, I went with those blue ones, just curving it around the path, sizing things down, changing them around so they all look very different again. I cut out most of that footage because it is just me sizing down these and it took me quite a while. The last thing I did is turn it to night time to add my light in. I love doing this at the end, and I also went in and added fireflies absolutely everywhere because it is my favourite thing to add to my builds. Really highly recommend using them. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!